Crater Lake National Park. Undoubtedly one of the most awe-inspiring places of natural beauty in the state of Oregon, a state with no shortage of beautiful sights. The park features the absolutely stunning and picturesque Crater Lake. This circular lake was formed from the caldera of a series of overlapping shield volcanoes and is actually the deepest lake in America at nearly 2,000 feet. It's also the 5th oldest national park in the US, and some Native American lore has been passed down for generations about this unique location. The Klamath people are Native Americans indigenous to this area of Oregon, and they hold firm beliefs that Crater Lake is sacred. As the story goes, the lake is a crossroads between a spirit of above named Skell and a spirit below named Yao. Yao is a horrifying, fiery, and dark spirit with a nasty temper. According to folklore, the two spirits fought epic battles here. Yao struck a devastating blow to Skell by ripping his heart from his chest, but Skell retaliated by dismembering Yao and throwing all of the Great Spirit's body parts into the lake. Ancient and hideous monsters within the water consumed all of Yao's extremities, everything but his head. And supposedly Crater Lake still holds a Yao spirit to this very day. While the spirit of above may have ultimately conquered his eternal enemy, Yao continues to create chaos when he sees fit. It's said that he brews up storm clouds and confusing mist to entrap those who wander too close to his domain. When he's angered, he may even appear in the form of a giant crayfish that climbs up out of the lake, snatches people off the rim of the crater surrounding the water, and drags them down to drown alongside him. While the Klamath people consider Crater Lake to be a place of sacred nature, others would contend that the area is cursed. While the Native American lore surrounding Crater Lake is rich and fascinating, there are real, documented examples of people vanishing without a trace in this Southern Oregon National Park that makes even the most steadfast skeptics raise an eyebrow. Take for example the case of Samuel Bulkey. Samuel, known as Sammy, was a young boy who was last seen at Crater Lake National Park at approximately 4 p.m. on October 14, 2006. He was an exuberant child but had a tendency to be stubborn, not an uncommon trait for an 8-year-old boy. On the day of his disappearance, he was hiking with his father when the two of them stopped at a pullout about 500 yards east of the Cleetwood Cove parking lot, and they were walking on the north side of Rim Drive. The two had stopped to play tag on a cinder slope, and young Sammy spotted something yellow that he hoped might be gold. This piqued his interest, so he stayed put when his father began walking a short distance back to the car. His father noticed this and began calling to Sammy, who stubbornly stayed where he was until his dad had to turn around and come and get him. Sammy, seeing his dad chasing after him, thought that they were still playing a game, so he ran further away, maintaining a distance of about 50 feet in front of his father. Soon after, he disappeared over the top of a ridge, and suddenly he was entirely gone. Sammy's father called for him and pleaded with his son to reveal where he was, but there was no answer. It only took a moment for young Samuel to never be seen again. There was an incredibly wide-scale search performed by more than 200 people combing an area of 6 square miles. For an entire week, searchers scoured every nook and cranny of the area with dogs, helicopters, heat-sensing cameras, and more. But not a single trace of Sammy was ever found. Intermittent searches continued even after the first week, but by this point, there were heavy snowfalls in the area. If Sammy was still out there, the chances that he was alive were slim to none. Crater Lake National Park sits at 7,000 feet above sea level, and it averages more than 500 inches of snow per year. Alongside the ground searches, the technical team scoured the slopes leading from the rim of the caldera all the way down to the water, a steep drop of between 700 and 1,000 feet. Even though it was unlikely Sammy would have fallen into the lake because of other obstacles blocking his path, So, what actually happened to young Samuel that fateful afternoon? While of course it's easy to get lost in any stretch of wilderness, the speed at which he had vanished is the strange part of the story. His father was only a matter of seconds behind him, and all it took was a few moments of being out of sight for Sammy to seemingly fall off the face of the earth. Conventional knowledge would maintain that the young boy may have slipped or fallen into an area that his dad didn't see. Even in this case, it's astounding that he wasn't found by the extremely extensive search party that was rounded up within a matter of hours. Perhaps there truly is more to Crater Lake than most people believe. And disappearances aren't the only strange happenings to occur in this park. Within the lake itself, there are two small islands, one of which is dubbed Wizard Island. It's in the form of an almost perfect cylindrical cone and was named Wizard in reference to their pointy hats. In the warmer seasons, park rangers will even ferry visitors out to this island to explore a bit. However, Wizard Island has developed a lore of its own over the decades because many separate park rangers have individually claimed to have seen human-looking figures and a fire burning on the island at night when the park is completely desolate. This has been a reoccurring claim made throughout several years, and every time when park officials went to investigate, they were met with an empty island and no indication of any recent fires. If Klamath legends are to be believed, perhaps Yao isn't the only spirit that lingers within the waters of Crater Lake. And beyond this, there have even been some proven incidents of strange and erratic behavior occurring when certain individuals approach the lake itself. According to the Crater Lake Foundation, back in July of 1947, a man named Mr. Cornelius and his wife were vacationing in the area when something incredibly bizarre had happened. Cornelius got eerily quiet and handed his wife his wallet and watch randomly. She grabbed the items and asked him what was wrong, but he simply walked away and off a ledge nearby, where he slid down a rock chute, enduring a horrific fall and injuring himself terribly. His wife, obviously in shock, called out to him, asking if he was alright. Without responding, Cornelius simply hobbled into the lake, where he then drowned himself. While this extremely tragic story may have simply been a severe psychological break from reality, Cornelius' sudden change in behavior is puzzling. Even if he wanted to die, electing to carry out the act in such a horrific and painful way, it seems strange. The fact his wife later claimed he was completely fine beforehand and had zero warning signs or motivations only brings up further questions. So, what's your opinion on Crater Lake? Is it simply a gorgeous national park where several strange coincidences and accidents have occurred? Or is there something more beneath the surface? Is it sacred, cursed, or perhaps neither? Do you think it's possible that the Klamath legends have grains of truth to them? Perhaps powerful spirits reside in the lake and carefully choose their moments to create chaos. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to let me know what you'd like to see next. Thanks so much for making it to the end of this week's video, and I hope to see you back here next time with another mystery.